Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. So, I'm pretty happy with the drum take that I got. I don't think there's any issue. There was one little spot, but I'm going to continue to listen to it, make sure, because I can always record it again. But I don't think I'll have to do that. Okay, so one of the things that I always talk about with the Zoom is mastering mode. So I'm going to play the tracks back in mastering mode and explain sort of what I did in post-production. Alright, so when I record drums, I do 4 microphones. I have a large diaphragm condenser here that goes to a rain, goes to channel 1, and I have, this has fan and power on it. I have a mic here, and another mic here. Those 3 mics go directly into the Zoom. I record without any effects typically, and I'll get this, signals as hot as I can, and I'll have a guide track in my ears. I'll record the entire track. When I'm done, I take the cable that comes with the unit and connect it to a computer, and then I go to Audacity and once the the icon of the disc comes up on the Zoom, I open it up, I go to audio files, and I'll take those 4 tracks that I've recorded, right? One at a time, I'll take them into Audacity, and I'm going to either amplify them. I do a high pass, just a light high pass on all the tracks, and I might amplify either negative or positive. Like I might need to add 3 dB or subtract a dB or 2. Then I name the track, and in the case of the drums, I double each one. So if I have a snare track that I've just worked on, I'll have that. Then I'll rename it snare B or whatever, snare 1, snare 2, and then I'll drag that in. So now we have the same track, but it's twice, and I do that with each one. So now instead of 4 tracks of drums, I have 8 tracks of drums, and they're on the second or the third row, 17 through 24. So I assign them by going to the track button. Once you've got all these tracks in your SD card, on the SD card, but on the icon, when you open it up and you've got them all in the audio file in the folder on your computer, they now sit inside the Zoom, right? So you go to track and you assign each one, and mine say snare A. Let me see what I wrote. Go to tracks, make my way to 17, and it says snare drum A, snare drum B, LOHL, which is left overhead left, left overhead right. That should really say 1 and 2, because there's no left overhead left and left overhead right. Although I guess it's right and left on the tracks, whatever. Same thing with right overhead left, right overhead right, and then bass drum 1 and 2. And then, yeah. So, wait, let me make sure that I didn't leave that there. Yeah, I'll roll it all the way back to 1. So, mastering mode. So once you've got all your tracks, named and you have them placed where you want to, the first step is to bring that red fader down. So you're going to go from the unity gain of 0 all the way down to, I don't know, like minus 20 or something. I don't know. Just bring it down. And then that's just to save your ears, your speakers, your headphones or whatever, because the levels are going to shoot way up. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is go to Effect and choose Mastering. And then the first patch is the one I use, number 00 plus alpha. Next, go to input screen and make sure it says master as opposed to like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, so on and so forth. Make sure it says master. That'll cover the entire recording as opposed to 1 or 2 tracks. And then you're going to hit edit. And once you get into edit, you'll see that comp lo-fi screen, and you're going to go and look at your crossovers. Those are both at 50 Hertz. I just leave those there. But on the synth high, mid, and low, I've got all of those at 5. And I got that tip at the forum, in the old forum, the old Zoom forum back in the day. So back in 2018 or 19 when I first got the machine, they had a forum, and they talked about these levels of 5 being a good starting point. So highs, mids, lows 5, the mix 5, the mix mid 5, the mix low 5. Then we make our way over to the normalizer. I don't use the normalizer. I've used one before when I was mixing on Audacity, but I don't like that kind of stuff on the Zoom, so I don't use it. But you can experiment with it. The 3-band EQ, bass, mid, treble, I have all at 5. Level is 62. Dimension reso setting I've got off. patch level 24 ZNR I have off. I don't like noise reduction. You know, I want to reduce noise, obviously, but I don't like programs that do it, like Dolby or stuff like that. It just puts like a blanket on it, kills the highs. You get rid of the little top-end noise, yes, but you also kind of kill the top-end energy with those noise reduction programs. They always did that to me, like back in the day. It would be cassette. So you'd get a cassette, like a really cool album, I don't know, whatever the album would be, but be like something you're excited about, and it would be called Dolby NR, Dolby Noise Reduction. And so you put in your cassette thing, and then they had the Dolby switch on the cassette, and you would punch it, and now it's going to be good, right? You just Dolby reduction, get rid of all that bad sound, and I would just always be bummed. And just to me, it was like a loudness switch. It was like turning off the loudness switch. You just lost something. I guess you were losing like high end. I don't know. Didn't like the way it sounded. But I don't know if anybody out there's old enough to remember all that stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to play the tracks back. And the way you do that is I just make sure they're all green and lit up. I've got my red fader down, and I'm going to hit play. And I've got it connected from the left side of the output, which means it won't be in stereo. And I did do some splitting on the left overheads. I recorded them split 50-50, the left and right overhead. And so what I did here, since it's two tracks, the two left tracks are over 50, the two right tracks are over 50. Everything else is down the center. Okay, here we go. Should kick in a second. I have some clicks and stuff that you'll hear. That's just cues. Sounds so much better in here. You can watch the metronome and make sure it's staying on time. Okay, so there it is. All right, so the next step in this whole one-man band business is I've got to lay down the guitar, right? And so the thing I realized when I got in here is I was like, oh yeah, I needed a click because I got to have a starting point where I go click. Luckily, there was the sound of my fingers starting to record play right before, I don't know what it was that I was clicking on, but there was like a clunk clunk that let me know, click, that's where it needs to be, where I go. And it's like a 2.5 second, it's like 1, 2.5, 1, 2, 2.5. And you'll hear it, there's a second click that warns me. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to play along to this to make sure that I'm in sync, and then just start practicing it, because this is going to be how I get ready to record the guitar. I've done all this work practicing drums. Now I'm going to do the same thing with guitar. Hopefully I can do it quickly, because I play this song a lot when I'm sitting around at night, at home, and on the bed, watching television. I'm just sitting here working on the arrangement. And I'll have the metronome, I'll go to YouTube or whatever and punch up 108 metronome and just watch it flash, as I'm sitting there playing it. So, I don't think it'll take forever. But I did notice one little playing glitch on the first middle 8 section, and just now listening back to it soloed, I don't hear anything wrong, so it's just me, trying to get in the groove, and I'll figure that out. But what I'm going to do here is I've got my Stratocaster, and I'm plugged directly into the Zoom, into input 1. I'm going to turn on the high Z, and I'm going to arm the track. That's how you get the tone. I don't have any effects on it or anything, but let's just see if we can get a mix of the drums. The drums may be really loud. Let's see. Okay, so maybe you can hear it well enough with the drums, and it won't be just drowning it out. Okay, so listen for those little clicks. It's kind of tricky. I have to hear the first click, do my little, then the second click gets me out of it, and I start the riff. So this will probably be a bungle, but this shows you what the challenge is of doing this by yourself. All right, here we go. Felt like my little sucked. All right, here we go. But it's working. The clicks are. Okay, that was just poor. But you see what I'm trying to do here. I'm not going to nail it right now, but I want to at least get to where I can do it, on camera. This is the section I was struggling with a little bit, and it's mainly because I still haven't turned the drums up loud enough to hear them. I'll have to do that, you know, to really feel it. Watch. Okay, I bungled my way through that, as you could tell. But the only real challenge is that section where it's like... just getting that smooth, you know, probably didn't think it through perfectly. The first one feels like I don't know. When I listen to the drums, it's fine, so I think I'm rushing it, and I wasn't hearing the drums well enough, so it kind of threw me off, and then it became like a thing. So I need to just erase it as a thing and stop, you know, thinking about it so much. Just let it flow when I get to that section. All right, so that is the second step. As you can see, everything kind of works. You know, I'm able to play along to the track. The track doesn't speed up or slow down a whole bunch. I was watching the metronome. It was staying, you know, pretty solid. Just got to get the flow right, get the feel right. And now what I'll do is a dual mono recording of both two mics on the cabinet, one on each type of speaker, which are different speakers. One's Alnico, one's ceramic. I'll split those out a bit, and that'll be the rhythm track. This is the main part of the song, and then there'll be like a little lead track mixed in there. So 2 guitar tracks. It'll actually be 4 tracks, left and right, and then bass and vocal. So this thing is cooking along. Really don't have any excuse to not be working. I just got to get it done because I have a new song that I'm excited about. This is the beginning of it. So anyway, working on that. I'll debut that soon because I think it works. It's combining elements of another song in there as well that I think really works because it was frustrated in another song. So I liberated it from that song that wasn't working and brought that part into here. I actually wrote the song around this section right here. this riff part. So, I'll sing the whole thing next time. I'll debut it and got to figure out what to do with it. But I'm excited about that because that part was stuck in this other song that I just could not get to lift off properly. So now I have a better, I've got another part in it too that's like... It has another little, I may be doing that wrong, but there's a whole other section, like 3 individual parts. That's kind of important to me when I'm writing a song, is to have like a verse, a chorus, and then something else, so like either bridge, middle 8, or something different or creative, or double chorus, something, so that you have 3 lift-off points. Otherwise, it just feels like it's missing something. All right, so there's my drum tracks. You can see the work that I've cut out for me. I've got to sit here with the guitar and really make sure that I'm in sync, make it sound like it's a band. I've been checking the Dodgers score. I'm sorry out there, all the people who hate the Dodgers. I fully understand. LA can be pretty hateable, but I put my time in there. So I'm a casual Dodgers fan. I typically follow the Braves, but they had a kind of a tough outcome. And then last year I was excited about the Rangers, because I'm born in Texas and lived right outside of Dallas. So that was really exciting, but they didn't even make the playoffs this year. And then I was in LA, I lived in LA when Kurt Gibson knocked it over. Man, that was exciting. The whole town went crazy. LA is just like any other town. They just, it's like a bunch of little sections all jammed together. And they love the Dodgers. They're not a football place, though. I remember being there when the Raiders were there and the Rams. And I always liked the Rams, but nobody cared about football in L.A. Nobody, especially the Rams. I know they're back now, but back in the day, and maybe they like them, but never could get a football feel in L.A. All right, so next time.